What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fun with Dumb. And we have some hungry people in the building today. Some of the hungriest people I know.
Yeah. Come on.
More than one. I'm not talking about just a hunger for food and sustenance, but a hunger for life.
Yeah.
A curiosity for the culture. You know what I mean? And I have a good friend here. That our friendship spans back a strong 12, 13 years possibly, maybe even longer than that, actually. It could be.
I think we first met in 2009.
Get the mic a little closer to you.
Yeah. I think we first met 2009.
2009.
Yeah. You were opening up for Epic High at the time.
That's 14 years, almost 15.
Yeah.
And since then, he's gone off to become a content creator, specifically helping out immigrant-owned restaurants in the community, highlighting them. But originally we met because he was the producer of the documentary Bad Rap that features me, Rick, Aquafina, and Rex Stizzy.
Yeah.
We have Jaeki Cho in the building today.
Let's go. What's going on, yo? What's going on?
Hello.
Jaeki Cho of Righteous Eats. You might have seen his content all over TikTok, all over Instagram, highlighting tons of restaurants. What's up, man?
Yo, I've never seen Dumb talk extensively about other people.
I love it.
This is true.
You know,
This is true. This
is like my first time I ever seen this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Giving props to other people on a
know.
public platform.
It kind of hurt while I was doing it.
You know what I mean?
Like, I was like, oh.
It's a bit jarring right now. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, am I speaking with the same Dumb that I know on a personal level?
It
You know what I mean?
almost felt like throwing up, I gotta say.
But yo, I'm good, man. Thank you for having me here, man. You got a beautiful space.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. I mean, shit.
Yeah,
like,
thanks, man.
shout out to Rick for painting the walls. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Come on.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what's up,
all
man.
the decor,
Yeah.
the alignment.
No,
love
for
it.
sure.
I love it.
Did we tell him that Rick painted it,
I
or
don't
he just
know.
assumed that Rick was?
I just
the one?
assumed it.
He
Yeah,
was
you-
right.
you
too.
assumed right.
He assumed right.
I paint walls, you know? Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, Jaeki, you're visiting Los Angeles. You're from New York
sir.
City.
Yep.
You heavily represent New York, and a lot of your content is shot in Queens.
Yeah,
Specifically?
Queens, Brooklyn. Now we've expanded to the Bronx, spots in Manhattan, and even Staten Island, all city, you know.
Where are you from?
I'm from Queens. I grew up in
Okay.
Queens. So when we started Righteous Eats, it was heavily Queens focused, but then we soon expanded because, you know, New York is culturally a melting pot.
Right.
Well, you know what? It's not even a melting pot. It just has like pockets of these segmented niche neighborhoods.
Yeah.
But the accessibility is just a lot seamless in New York
Well,
compared to
That's cool.
What
other
is
places.
Righteous Eats? Why don't you tell us a little bit about Righteous Eats for those who may not know?
Yeah, so Righteous Eats is essentially, we're in the process of turning this into a platform to highlight underserved communities that traditionally probably don't have the same access as some of these restaurants that have corporate comms teams that could get themselves on these high signal media properties. You know what I mean? So essentially, we're out here representing, showing love to mom and pop, you know, operated small businesses, oftentimes owned and operated by POCs and first generation immigrants. And it started during the pandemic when a lot of these eateries, they just weren't getting the same access and love. And then some of the statistics at the time that was getting flown around in New York was that 2 out of 3 restaurants were projected to shut down permanently.
Damn.
And, you know, the restaurants that were getting some of the highlights and these more prestigious traditional food publications, they were already getting highlights even before the pandemic.
True.
So, I mean, at the time, I had accumulated a following because of this cooking videos that I was making.
Yeah.
But it wasn't an arena that I was going to participate anyway. You know what I mean? Because I have no authority in that space. So I had this community that I was able to amass, and I was like, yo, now that I have like eyeballs, how can I use this for good? Like, what is like an altruistic narrative that I could construct just trying to show love to these small mom and pop businesses? And then that was pretty much the genesis of Righteous Eats.
I think the interesting thing is, like you said, you're trying to figure out what your thing is, right? I mean, it's not necessarily just food, but it is your curiosity for different cultures. And I think that's the biggest thing that you kind of honed in on and figured out. But I have to ask you, so why don't you talk a little bit, explain like what makes a business successful through, the social media backing companies that help out these specific businesses. You said there's corporate comps behind these businesses, right? And some don't have that.
Right.
So explain like how some of these businesses get Instagram famous.
Right. So it's like anything, right? Okay, let me try to break it down a notch.
Yeah, because that's why I like your content, because you've actually break that down, because that's something I didn't know. I was just like, oh no, the sandwich is Instagrammable. That's why this place is popping.
Right,
I think a lot of people think that.
Yeah.
There's like sauces that are dripping down the sandwich. I'm like, that's why that's popping.
Right.
But there's food porn aspect.
Yeah, but it goes beyond that, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's always going to be a spectacle component to the food that visually is going to captivate people. But the know-how of even projecting that on a social media platform, that's knowledge that like an immigrant Ajuma, who just started her Sarlongtang operation, she's not going to have the same wherewithal or even the bandwidth to think like, okay, how can I make this shit go viral on TikTok?
Right.
That is something that a person with a corporate comms IQ is going to help navigate. So how does that happen? So for instance, like a lot of the more famous restaurants that we see, they're usually backed by a restaurant group. And these restaurant groups, some of them, not all of them, but are backed by venture capitalists.
Yeah.
The whole mission behind a lot of these small restaurants that might pop off is they have different streams of business that they want to tap into, whether it's like consumer product goods. So you might see a restaurant that's like killing it for 2 years, and then 2 years later, you might see their sauce available in Whole Foods.
Yeah.
That's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is all like planned out. It's very strategic and it's very intentional. So when you have those type of restaurants, but that could happen on a very high level, but it could even happen on a mid-level. So in a mid-level, it could be like, let's say, a celebrity chef that maybe started in the streets, got smartened up, cleaned up, some investors put some money in. It's like, yo, we're going to make you big and we're going to eventually get you into Vegas, right? So that narrative is somebody is out there that is putting that together. It's a roadmap that you're creating.
Yeah.
But a regular street vendor that's selling tacos, they're not going to have, like, that's like a world that's completely foreign to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so like the playing field is different, you know what I mean? And so I'll give you an example. Like you might see like at the end of the year list, right? From any of these esteemed publications, like 50 best restaurants in the city.
Yeah.
I'm not saying these food critics are paid under the table by any means.
Right.
But even to get on this food critics, like
radar,
yeah, like, yo, there's probably like 50,000 restaurants in Los Angeles County. This food critic is not out there trying each and every one of them.
Right.
But to get on that person's radar, like maybe this particular restaurant has a publicist that is on retainer for $5,000 a month, constantly pitching this food critic. So this food critic eventually caves in. It's like, fuck it, let me just go check it out. And it might be the best tacos that this motherfucker had.
Yeah.
So that's gonna make it in the end of the year list.
Right.
But the street vendor doesn't have $5,000 that they could pay a corporate comms person.
Right.
So that's what I meant. Like, yo, how do we create a platform to help those that traditionally might not have a platform?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, there's some information that people know about how the influencer system works, but some people may not know that there are food influencers that get paid to come to openings for restaurants or certain restaurants that are already open to go and eat there and have a social media post. So it's kind of crazy because you should constantly see the same restaurants being highlighted all across the board, when there's, like you said, there's 50,000 other restaurants that you can go and check out
100%.
and post about.
Is that true? Are influencers, like there's so many foodie influencers I see on Instagram. The friends that I know here tell me that they get free food, but I haven't heard them necessarily say I get paid. I haven't heard anyone say they've gotten paid to go to the restaurant. I don't know if it's because I don't know people above the 100K level of like, that's what they're, but I do know that my food influencer friends, like they might work for restaurants where they film like content for them, and then they get paid through that or something.
So there's like multiple models.
Yeah.
So one of the challenges that initially I faced when I started Righteous Eats was I would call these restaurants and I wanted to differentiate my content, because not only because I wanted to have just a separator, but because I felt like oftentimes the food coverage that you see on social media focus on the spectacle of the food, but it didn't really highlight the people behind the food. But in order to tell the story, you need to get access to the owners, right?
Yes.
Like these guys have like, you know, lunch hour crowd. They ain't got time to try to speak with you and do an interview with you. So you need to set that up before. And also we want to show the process. So we need to get access to the kitchen. So I would call these places and I would like visit these restaurants in person to try to set these up. And some of the first questions that I would get from these owners was, all right, so how much you trying to charge me? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm trying to pull up and try to highlight you, and I want to pay for the food. I'm doing all of this, and there's no like real lift for you. The only thing that you got to give me is your time and your trust. Yeah. And I was like, well, yo, we got some other people that's been hollering at us, whether it's these like platforms that wants to run ads for these restaurants, you know what I mean? Or, you know, influencers that just kind of holler at them, be like, yo, anywhere between 500 to like 10 racks. You know what I mean? To highlight a restaurant.
Yeah.
So they would ask for these type of, you know, budget. And I was like, nah, that's the opposite, like the antithesis of what we trying to do. And so to even build that trust, it was a process.
Wow.
So, and there's the other model of now after you accumulate a following, a lot of these restaurants that are more on the mom and pop side, they might want a social media agency. So these influencers have created revenue streams where they are creating content for these businesses as official agencies. But when they post the content on a platform, they might not necessarily say, yo, this is a client of ours or not. So it kind of just blends in as branded content.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and again, like this isn't a knock to anybody that's doing their thing. I've addressed this multiple times. Yo, I respect your hustle. Do what you got to do.
Hell yeah. That sounds like the American dream right there, man. Getting paid to eat.
Yeah, but that's you know, we don't do none of that. We pay for the food. We don't take a dime from any of these mom and pop businesses.
I noticed that with some of the content. I didn't realize when you go to these restaurants, you like, that's a thing of yours. You guys have to pay. You guys refuse to take the food for free, right? Yeah. And there's been businesses that's like they fought over this with you
because they find it disrespectful. It's like, yo, like we welcomed y'all because we fuck with y'all. We want you to come and enjoy this meal.
I respect that. I really respect that.
It's like, can I leave a tip? You know what I mean?
No,
like,
I'm like that. Even if they refuse to take money from me, like I will tip the amount of the food or even more, like the same amount straight up.
Because the foundational spirit of Righteous Eat started during the pandemic when these restaurants were not getting business. So it was like such a fucking hypocrite. It would have been super hypocritical if I went in there. It's like, yo, you going through shit, but give me 2 racks so I could, you know, show you love. For sure. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Are you seeing like success stories where maybe because you were giving them your time as much as they gave your time, you know, correlation where you see that they have more business because of...
Yeah. So now I wouldn't say like we're batting like crazy numbers.
Right. It doesn't matter, but even a few.
There were like, you know, there are examples where we highlighted an eatery, and then as a result, they decided to open another restaurant because it was getting busy.
That's tight.
That's so
most
cool.
recently, there was a Chino Latino restaurant, which is a Chinese-operated food business that has Latin influences. So this restaurant has been a staple in the Upper West Side for many years. They're a community darling, but I guess recently their business wasn't as busy. And you know, after a video that we highlighted went viral, like the owner's dad, who was retired, he came out of retirement just to help out because the shit was popping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw a video where you went to a spot and
shout out to Latina, by the way.
Okay, yeah. I saw a spot where they didn't even like you highlighting. They didn't want you guys to film at a spot. You were like eating somewhere and you were like, yeah, we were trying to shoot. And they were like, nah. That's when you know it's like a deep cut. Right. When they don't want you to even highlight that shit. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's certain spots that like I just kind of do a selfie style. Kind of like how Rick does it. Yeah. You know, serenade the food. You know what I mean? Just show our appreciation. But I have rapport with the owners. But you know, the Ajumani just like, 됐어.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know you've seen Rick's food content recently. He's been coming up into food content game.
Yeah.
And as someone who's been in it for a few years now, what kind of advice would you give an up and coming food content creator?
I wouldn't say Rick is up and coming. If anything, he kind of birthed this Korean American hip hop lingo, generation. With like we're kindred spirits in the sense, like we grew up in similar musical influences.
Yeah, you guys.
Rick with boom bop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Was like, this motherfucker was literally rapping like Rakim while making kimchi bokkeumbap.
You guys
and he did this shit back in 2016.
You guys
know
are
what I mean?
definitely poets when it comes to this food commentary. You know what I mean? It's like
Rick,
East Coast, West Coast. Well, you're East Coast too.
Like Rick is like BJJ black belts, and like
wow, are you hearing this, bro?
I hear you, man. I appreciate that.
No,
you took it and he ran with
you're
it.
You're getting
know
nervous, man.
I'm not nervous. I'm just, I'm in presence of the greatness right now.
I'd like to throw out like a food item and have a commentary off, if you will. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't even think we are in the same arena because Rick would run laps around me when it comes down to that.
Wow, man.
What he said, like shattered glass, but he was describing naengmyeon ice. I was like, holy shit, that's a bar, son.
I appreciate you.
When he was Titanicing the fucking bite, I was like, yo, this guy.
Rick, my sister, she lives in New York. She hit me up a few days ago and I said, yo, are you watching this Rick content right now? Everything he eats makes my mouth water and I want to eat it, which is exactly what you're amazing at, but it's hitting the other coast.
That's crazy.
Jaeki,
the algo was working, man.
It's working all the way from over there.
This is flooding it. And Jaeki, this is years back, like 4 or 5 years ago. He told me he's like, you should be doing this, Yeah. He's like, you're good at this. And I just been sleeping on it, trying to do the music thing. And I just came back. It's kind of like you leave your passion and then you try to venture out to other things. It's like, Korean pride. Like back in the day, you're super Korean pride and you kind of leave it. And then you come back as you get older, like, nah, we're Korean, This love for food was always innate.
Well, there's also this thing, right, where in Korean culture, our parents and our elders kind of pat you on the back or even more by how well you eat.
For sure.
There's a saying for what's the saying? It's like
밥 잘 먹어? Like
밥 잘 먹어.
아니 복스럽게 먹는.
복스럽게, which means
like
you
eat like you're getting a lot of luck.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've gotten that affirmation to continue to eat well, but to the point that it makes other people want to eat well. That's actually like a thing in our culture that both of you guys are doing really well.
Actually, I've taken the opposite path and had an enlightenment in the opposite way where I realize I don't have to finish the food. And I love that. You know what I mean?
That
because
epiphany is very important.
I grew up finishing the food always. That's in my face, right?
Yeah.
And then
like they guilt trip you if you don't finish.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like the last couple of years, I started eating and I got really full. I didn't want to eat the rest of the food. And my boy's like, yeah, you don't have to do that. And I was like, what? And I just started eating half the rice, sometimes a quarter of the rice. I feel great.
I mean, the way that you left a lot of the pork slices.
Come on, Jay.
No. First of all,
infuriating.
First of all, those pork slices are the best in K-Town, I think. Chinsol. Check out Chinsol.
Shout out to Chinsol Gukbab.
We got to shout out, I think, some kind of restaurant today because
Chinsol Gukbab is.
Can you guys do a review right now about because we all ate this? Oh no, you didn't eat it, but you had it before yesterday.
Rhymes with Jaeki Cho.
Yeah, give a quick description from both of you guys. I want to hear the different styles here.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing: like, I don't like to call it a review. You know what I mean? I don't think I have the authority to review.
Not a review, a description of some of the dishes.
I'll kick it off real quick.
About the kimchi jjigae specifically.
Boggle. That's the onomatopoeia? Yeah. The onomatopoeia. So when the soup is boggling and it comes out, the velvety pork that comes out, that's barely floating right underneath the Napa cabbage, right? And then when she pulls it out with the scissors, when she pulls it out with the scissors, that Napa cabbage does not end. You see how long that joint is? You cut it, everything is soft. Everything kind of melts in your mouth. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pass it off to Jaeki.
I've never thought we'd have a food influencer cipher right
East
here.
Coast, West Coast.
I mean, yo, that broth is so thick. It just kind of serves like a chapstick. It just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a lip lubricator, if you will.
It's a lip balm.
It's a lip balm, you know what I mean?
And then it just kind of enters into your bloodstream. And kind of makes you feel nostalgic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That warm broth, it just touches upon that moment when you were wilding out at Hongdae all the way to Flushing. You know what I mean?
Good Korean food kind of has a semi-opiate effect. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You get this warm hug. It feels like your grandmother just hugging you with
It's
the
like
bosom.
an ibul.
It's
You know what I mean?
yeah. It's
I feel like every time it goes
What?
each way, I gotta go, oh!
Nah, but you know what it is too?
Can I
Jaeki?
try one too?
Your voice.
Yeah.
Your voice.
I mean, you got an amazing voice
my
yourself.
guy. If
You know
Alex
what I
put on an Alchemist beat right now, the way that you were describing Righteous Seas, that's a record right there, bro. You know?
Yo, son, I don't want to just jerk each other
Yeah,
off right
yeah,
now,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you're incredible, man. I say this openly many times that this is by not taking anything away from Dumb and our other rapper friends, but Rick is the most skilled rapper that I know.
Yeah, he is very skilled.
Ever.
He is very
he hates
skilled.
this shit right now.
Very skilled, this guy.
He's not comfortable, but
Nah.
I say this often.
I
Publicly.
appreciate that.
I've said this many times.
Yo,
Rick is the
thank you.
most skilled rapper that I know ever. I think he could go toe to toe with anybody.
That's
Damn.
beautiful.
Yeah, no.
If he puts out more music,
Right.
Yeah,
right.
no, that's
If
amazing.
he's more consistent,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I appreciate that, bro.
Changing the subject. Want to talk a little bit?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, try one though. Try a description of the dinner
I'm really
yesterday.
bad at this. Oh, man, the side dishes, though.
Stop making fun of our voices right now.
I can't even do it. I can't.
Come on.
Okay.
Just use your voice.
Man, that Napa cabbage, like you explained, that Napa cabbage will put you taking a nap. Well, have you taken a Napa, if you know what I mean, right? Yeah. That Napa cabbage will have you napping.
What did you say last time? We go to a Korean barbecue. Like, this Sam makes me want a Sam.
Yeah. Man, and those side dishes, whew, really compliment the main dish. Like, I can't compliment anyone.
This is why you do not make food content.
I don't do
and
this. I'm sorry.
Did you guys watch the time that he actually did make a sandwich content thing where he put it?
Yeah.
He said that he got more likes on that than any of his other videos, and he didn't mean he was just eating it, right?
Right.
But you ate it well, and people
I thought I did all right, but I mean, I reviewed the video and there was things I did wrong. I held the sandwich for too long before eating it. I noticed people were commenting, just eat the sandwich, motherfucker. Just eat the sandwich. And I was holding on. Is there things that you guys learned too, making this content, like from the comments, or has it been all positive?
Absolutely. Like, you know, when I've been dropping these videos recently, you research, you do the studies on the numbers, you know, like what pops off, what doesn't pop off. I talk to people that's been doing this. They're like, show more face. You know, the POV's cool, the sound is cool. Does the monologue work? Does this quick, like, you know, the funny 10-second repeatable joints work, or the minute and a half? There's a lot of different studies that you have to do. But at the end of the day, it's about the passion, man. You know, like, the reason why I could describe it so well is because I really love food. You know, it's like when you love a woman or you love somebody, you could talk about them all day because it's so easy to describe because you're so passionate about it. And I feel like the more honest you are and just kind of like relatable.
I've seen you describe food better than your girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
say something about your girl like kimchi jjigae, you know?
I can't.
I
can't.
Come on, man. You got to do it now, bro. She's watching right now,
That's
bro.
an assertive no.
Can I ask what you guys think about like ASMR, food ASMR? Does that stuff like? Are you guys interested in that, or is it annoying?
No. Yeah.
No,
Like, I mean, I'm not like annoyed by it. It's just that it never piqued my interest.
Yeah.
You know, I think that falls into the spectacle, right? Kind of like the looks of it. Like, you know, when they squeeze the egg yolk. The egg yolk is the go-to move when they just pop it and it drizzles over, kind of like lava, you know? But then the ASMR too, it's like there's a separation. Some people really like it, like they're drawn to it,
Yeah.
and other people are disgusted by it.
I love the rice. Anything with white rice, and you could see like the steam coming out, and then they put like spam or sausage, and then the egg just kind of dripping. That shit and the sound.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gives me shivers. Like
tingles?
The tingles.
Wow.
That is
Wow.
my favorite type of food content. But I think for me, when I watch food content, it has to be about the sound and the way the people are eating the food.
Right.
No
Yeah.
matter what anyone's like talking about, the reviews and all that, but in the end, it's how are you eating it?
It is also,
Right?
well, yeah, I think there's like different, like how there's different genres in
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
It's like different genres in food content as well. Like,
Damn.
Yeah,
you know, if
yeah.
you're talking to, I mean, but it doesn't mean that one is better than the others.
No.
You know, like there is like the anthology, explorational food content where you're talking about the people creating the food and the cultural context behind that food.
Yeah.
So you could kind of, you know, do a whole. I mean, Tony Bourdain was the GOAT of all time when it came down to that form of content.
Yeah.
So there's that field of like students that falls into that category, and then there's like the spectacle category where like someone like shout out to Adam Richman, Man versus Food, which by the way he could wax poetic about food all day.
Yeah.
For
but
sure.
he is known for the spectacle component of like, yo, how much can you eat? How much wow shit can you eat? Right. So, and again, it doesn't, you know, I don't say, yo, like one is better than the others. It's just that everybody has what they like.
I had
You know
the
what I mean?
biggest crush on that guy. Now,
Adam?
Adam.
I think he would appreciate that. Yeah.
I think there was a time, because again, culturally, we are patted on the back by our parents about eating well. I saw myself as that when I was a kid. When I would go to my grandparents' house, I would make sure to eat 2 to 3 bowls of rice just to make them happy. And I think when I watched Adam, that was like very like, I was like, oh, that's like hot, because again, that affirmation that I heard as a kid, it was like hot to hear about that. So
Interesting.
somehow when I would watch him, I'd be like, oh, he's such a good eater. That's like hot. That's like, I don't know, charismatic.
So do you find Rick very charismatic?
You know,
That's weird, dude. He's my podcast host person. He's like a brother to me.
Yeah, my parents used to talk.
I can't say that, man.
Yeah,
My
okay.
parents,
You know
my
his
parents.
voice.
I just said his charismatic.
You know
I didn't
what?
say that. You
The
find him like, yeah, like I didn't say any of that. I just
Rick,
said
I
if he's
think your
charismatic.
voice
Yeah.
is a very attractive.
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
say, if I were to close my eyes and hear the deepness of the voice,
Yeah.
that part is like.
And what happens when you open your eyes?
She wakes up.
Yeah.
It's back to reality.
A good thing this is a
Snap back.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like for people, but I think other people would agree.
You know, one thing I love about your content is that everyone has kind of eats the mainstream genre of cultural foods. You know, there's like Chinese, the Thai, the Mexican. What else? Some of the more popular ones. But you get into the deep cuts of certain countries and cuisine that I've never tried. What's some of your favorite
B-sides?
like new cuisines that you tried from the different new culture?
Right. I would say, I mean, I think LA has some of the best variations of food from different parts of the world, right? Whether it's like Korean, Mexican, hands down is incredible here. But I think what New York has that I think we have the privilege of, if you are willing to explore, is the diversity of different types of cuisines that you could get access to.
I agree.
In a close proximity. So, you know, I recently got put on to Burmese food.
Yeah.
And Burma is not a place that, unfortunately, because of its, you know, some rather unfortunate political history, that is not somewhere that a lot of Americans have yet to really know too much about. There was this Thai tea salad. Son.
Thai tea salad?
So good.
No, sorry, not Thai tea. It's just tea
No.
salad. It's
Oh,
not
okay,
has nothing to do with
okay,
Thai.
okay,
But
okay.
it's just tea salad.
It's tea leaves.
salad.
Tea leaf salad.
Leaves.
Yo,
Ooh, okay.
San Francisco
it's just crazy.
has
Wow.
put me onto this food because they have like 2 of the big, I think it's called Burmese Superstar.
Yeah.
I think that's the name of it in San Francisco. It was kind of a phenomenon. Like there was one restaurant that really put all the other Thai restaurants in the area. I mean, not Thai, I'm sorry. Burmese food. Yeah, food on the map.
Right.
And that was San Francisco.
So, and then another spot was somewhere that I just shouted out earlier, Latina, or So apparently in New York back in the 70s and the 80s, there was a string of Chino Latino restaurants, like Chinese Peruvian, Chinese Dominican, Chinese Cuban, Chinese Puerto Rican. A lot of these restaurants, unfortunately, they no longer operate. And I think there's only like a handful left in New York City. If you love like Americanized Chinese food, but you also have the munchies for like, you know, like pork chop, you know what I mean, with like plantain. You know what I mean? Over like some thick sauce. Son, like that's the type of food I probably wouldn't recommend it as a daily form of nourishment.
Yeah.
But yo, when you are a little bit smacked or when you just have them. Son, just imagine like eating pork fried rice with pork chop with that green sauce.
That's one of the things I just learned.
It's like symphony, dog.
I just learned about
this. You can't
this.
get any better than that.
That's an opus.
When you mentioned, when you highlighted the Chino Latino culture, I was very new to that. I did not know about this, and a long, multiple generations of this business and genre, I guess they've created.
Yeah, totally.
Through just Chinese people being in these Latin countries, 100%,
right? Yeah, totally. So these Chinese people, they, for whatever reason, they ended up in these Latin American countries. And I think during, U.S.'s economic growth, a lot of them moved to the U.S. I mean, you're from Argentina.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably in a similar vein. And then when they settled in New York, they were like, yo, let's just fucking combine the two together. Bong bong, you know what I mean?
Crazy.
Okay, what's your last like meal before you die type of thing for all of you guys?
That's a tough
quickly.
one. That's a tough one.
It's good for Jaeki. I want to hear Jaeki. I think we've talked about
I think it has something to do, like any combination of a very solid broth that has been boiling for at least 6 hours.
Let's go.
With rice that you could shake from the bowl and you just kind of directly transport it like an ice cream scoop.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Accompanied by the most, it could either be very ripe kimchi or it could just be like kochori style. You know what I mean? Just like.
But Rick is getting a hard on right now. He is getting a hard on right
now. Had me at kochori, bro.
It's just like a combination of that. So there's a spot in New York, 162nd Street, Flushing. What's up? Called Pak Sambal Kukbap. They only have one thing on the menu. That's the kukbap. Yeah. And it's Somori Kukbap. And that's like one of my go-to
You
in
put
New
me
York.
on. You put me on
That's
that
one of my
joint.
go-to in New York.
that.
And in LA is hanbat. I was just there earlier today.
I feel like
hold on real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Remember when I said hanba fell off and you said respectfully no? I went back. I retract, bro. I retract.
I appreciate that.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Like the
price
one time,
went up.
The price went up.
But the taste has not faltered.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I was straight hater style that time. I went one time and the temperature was a little low. You know what I mean? Temperature was a little low. The Kuzuan taste wasn't there that day. So
maybe it was a fresh batch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't sitting, you know what I mean? So I love that because I respect your opinion. So when you were like respectfully, and just that word respectfully, it just changes everything. You know what I mean? The way you delivered it, because I was like, oh, maybe I was wrong. So I went back like 2 days after. I completely retract. I want to let you know.
Could I add something to that though? Anyone who starts respectfully is never respectful. Never. Yeah. That's just to cover up your disrespect.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here with your respectfully.
That's like the no offense, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's offenseful. It's like
that's essentially the New York no offense. Yeah.
Or it's like saying, I'm not trying to be racist. Yes, you are, fam.
Right.
I don't think it's in the same ballpark.
It's in the same ballpark.
No, it's not, dog.
Yes, it
I
is,
think you took it a little far. But regarding hanbat, so the 사장님 over there, shout out to the two owners. There's the older brother and the younger brother. They take different shifts. So the younger 사장님 told me that, yo, if you like good seolleongtang, make sure you go to the spots that are busy because it means that they're constantly re-upping the batches.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And also, when I went into that kitchen, I was like, yo, this is your secret because the amount of meat that they use, most other restaurants, if they don't have like that level of foot traffic, they'll go out of business. That's why that broth, that umami, is fucking dense, dog.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Like hanba doesn't even require seasoning. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's what I mean.
Out,
like, yo, no pepper, no salt,
you don't
none
need
of that.
None of that. None of that. That's just garnish.
It's like omakase kukbap.
Let's go.
You just respect it for what it is. You don't touch it.
Could I pitch a show here? I'm going to pitch a show co-hosted by you two called The Broth Brothers.
Hey, man.
All right, The Broth Brothers, and
The
you guys
Kumul boys.
focus on broth and soups.
We should just name it Brothers and capitalize broth in it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
brothers.
The Brothers. Wait, you can't spell brothers without broth.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that.
There's something there.
Could I add something? I recently, I think in an episode, I talked shit about French onion soup, right? I don't think I talked shit about it, but I said I've had some bad
It was
experiences
a hot take.
with it. I had some bad experiences with it. Recently, I went to a spot. Fantastic French onion soup. That shit is amazing. Because I think I was just talking shit about other soups. Because I really
You went to like
favor.
Panera and then you were like, yo, this ain't it.
Yeah. You had the half-half.
Yeah, maybe I should have given it more of a chance than Panera. No,
What do you like? Oh, yeah, talk about it. What did you like about it?
it just didn't have the overwhelming too much cheese on the top.
Yeah.
That usually gets nikkie for me, which is
Right.
the Korean word we use when something gets a little
Too greasy.
too greasy, heavy. Yeah. But this French onion soup was fantastic. So I want to retract my statement and
Do you
shout
like-
out French onion soup.
Do you like
Bread.
the hardened cheese? Some people, there's two different types of cheese. Because sometimes when it's too stringy, it's kind of
I don't
difficult
like
to eat.
it. Yeah, because that cheese gets hard fast.
Yeah.
You got to really get through that soup before.
It's like bread dipped in, like, how could that be bad? It's literally cheese and carbs and
Yeah.
some salt.
No, it's good. It was delicious. I mean, I'm excited. I'm going to New York next week. I'm going to get a slice. That's something in New York that, I mean.
We know what a slice is, though.
Yeah.
Let me explain what a slice is to you, new folks. But actually, LA's pizza game is stepping up.
I'm sure.
It
yeah,
is.
totally.
It's getting
I'm
crazy.
sure.
It's getting
Yeah.
crazy
But
out
that's
here
good.
with
They're
food.
coming
The food
out-
scene is getting nuts.
I would
out
say in terms of, sorry to cut you off, but like in terms of just the overall quality, LA, because of various like reasons, like one, like you have ample amount of space.
here. Yeah.
And the cost of maintaining your business is significantly lower than a market like New York. Like for instance, Jaragua, which is an El Salvadorian restaurant in K-Town.
Yeah.
The kitchen was like one of the biggest like kitchens that I've seen owned and operated by a commercial restaurant. Like I
Right.
would never seen a kitchen that big in
Yeah.
Manhattan.
Right.
So not only do they have nixtamalization where they actually grind their own corn and they make everything from scratch.
Right. Yeah.
Like, so you're not going to get that type of access, unfortunately, as commonly in New York.
Yeah.
So because of that, like I think the quality of the food here and also the access to produce. The
produce
Some
here
of the
is next level.
I mean, the American, like whether it's, beef to vegetables, a lot of that shit is sourced from California. So the access to produce is so fresh that the quality of the food is just no comparison. You know what I mean? So, but in terms of diversity, yeah, like I would say like New York, in terms of like proximity, diversity is.
Absolutely.
I also I
Outta
see you're really honest about how certain things maybe you don't agree with when you try it. I see it in your face. Like there's things that you're like, that's interesting. You can't really eat it. Is there something? What's your least favorite food?
I don't think I have a least favorite, but one thing that like one ingredient that I don't personally like has always been mushrooms.
Mushrooms, really? That's interesting.
I don't have an issue with like enoki mushrooms, but like or even like heirloom mushrooms, I'm fine with it. But like the squiggly, like
right.
you know what I'm talking about? Like
it's a texture thing, right?
yeah,
It's a texture
So
thing.
I had, when I was like 4, I had it and then I puked. And ever since then, it just kind of traumatized me, I think.
That's so funny. I have a very similar story. Like, the Korean side dish, the vinegarized seaweed?
Yeah.
So I remember eating like a whole bunch of strawberries. This is when I was like 7, 8 years old. I was just eating, when your grandma would put sugar on strawberries?
And tomatoes.
And tomatoes. Yo! That's crazy. Yeah. So I'm eating like a whole bowl of that. And then we ate ramen and my dad gave me this vinegarized seaweed. And then something, like there was a combustion that happened and I started throwing up like fluorescent pink seaweed puke.
Yeah.
And then, when it's coming back up, you're tasting the combination of the sugar sweet plus this. So ever since then, that vinegarized seaweed,
You try to avoid it.
I try to avoid it because it's connected to some PTSD.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's so funny though. Back to that tomato thing.
Yeah.
The tomato thing, I didn't realize till I went to Korea that they eat it like, I know it's considered a fruit because of whatever the seeds and shit. they eat it like grapes. They eat, like the small ones, they eat it like it's a fruit. Right? Did you guys,
I
you
did
guys
that
notice?
too. I did that. I get the little cutie joints.
That's why growing up they put the sugar on the tomatoes
I
here.
think the usage of sugar in Korea is because the tomatoes are not as I don't want to say as good or bad. I think it's just not as ripe as something that I mean, tomatoes originated from like a Mediterranean culture, right? So like tomatoes in Italy, when you taste that shit, is significantly different than what you taste in America.
For sure.
Now, trying to do that in Korea, where there's other like,
I'm gonna say
geographical differences. They were like, yo, let's just sprinkle some sugar in there.
But it was odd when we were kids, and next to the cut Fuji apples were freaking tomato slices with sugar on them.
It was also rare, I think, in Korea at the time. So that's why it was more so like, so for instance, like you go to Korea, you go to the department stores, they sell avocados there. In packages. Yeah. Because avocado's not native to Korea.
Yeah. I'll tell you 2 Korean fruits that I'm not a fan of.
All right, I know what it is.
Persimmon. I don't like persimmon.
Yeah.
Word.
And what's the yellow kam? What's kam?
Kam is persimmon.
That's persimmon.
You're talking about the yellow melon.
The yellow
right?
melon.
Chame.
Yeah,
chame.
Yeah. The little canoe joints.
Bro.
You don't like chame?
Chame
and
persimmon. And I know those 2 are like, they're Korean fruits. Like often you'll find those in a Korean fruit platter.
But which persimmon is it? Because you had this. There's 2 persimmons that we grew up.
The soft and hard.
The soft, which is
I
has
don't know.
grittiness
It's
in the mouth.
You know what I'm talking about? Persimmons. These little fuckers.
But
you
there's
know
2 types that in Korean markets. There's the soft one, and then there's
all
the
of them. The whole
this
family.
Does leave a little. There's like a slight tingling feeling.
Chame is not that lit.
Have you had an ice cold chame though? Have you had
I've had it all temperatures, fam.
No, did you? Because when you have this on a hot summer day, right?
My family had a chame tree, bro.
You had a chame tree?
We had a chame tree. We had our own Argentinian Korean dish called a chimichurri. We had a whole. We had our own.
Chimichurri sounds kind of fire.
We put a little chimichurri on the chame. We called it chimichurri. All right.
Yeah.
Chimichurri sounds fucking fire.
That's interesting because it's grown from the floor.
From the floor, you mean?
It's a root. It's a root.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant. I meant
just kidding. I don't know. I think it is though.
No, but I just don't like those fruits. It's nowhere near the elite level of a Korean pear. You know what I'm saying? And I know that might be politically incorrect calling it a Korean pear because I know some people call it an Asian pear.
Yeah.
But recently had a Chinese friend talk about this pear to her nanny who's real Chinese, and she was like that's Chinese, a Korean pear. Yeah. She's Chinese and she was like, that's a Korean pear.
Right.
So I got validation from this Chinese nanny.
Gotcha. Motherfuckers come with their own turtleneck.
Yeah, there you go. That's it right there. Look at that sexy thing.
I wonder why that's the only fruit that comes in that.
They got the mesh marinas.
Yeah,
they like Jamaican Rastafaris, you know what I mean?
Why is that?
They got a little butthole and everything.
Maybe they get bruised easy. Is that what the point of them being so like, cuddly looking? Like, why do they have that thing around? Do apples come like that?
No,
sometimes?
so like fruits in general in Korea is usually served as a gift oftentimes. So you want to make sure that the conditions and the presentation is on point. You know what I mean?
That's top 5 housewarming gift.
Yeah, and I would say that. Why? Yeah, and oftentimes like I think a lot of that culture, that packaging culture, was influenced by Japan. Because everything about how they present themselves, they take a lot of they respect the details when it comes down to those things.
Have you had those expensive strawberries that's kind of going viral right now?
Yeah, I've had those oishi berries.
Yeah. What do you
is it a hype or is it real?
So here's the thing, right? So they sent me a box, a tray last year, and then it was fucking jarring. Like I was like, "Holy shit, this is so fucking good!"
Yeah.
Because so like let's say you go to like a supermarket, you get one of those like tubs, right?
Yeah.
They're inconsistent.
Of course.
Some of them are more ripe than others. Some of them doesn't even have any flavors. You know what I mean?
The color's off.
Yeah, the color is off. So I'm accustomed to eating that shit.
Yeah.
And then when they sent me an omakase tray of berries that were all genetically engineered to taste at a similar playing field, each bite that I took fucking melted in my mouth. And on top of that, eat the scent. I don't know how they were able to create the scent, but it fucking smelled like strawberry candy.
What?
You know what I'm saying? So I was like shocked. Like, holy shit, this is crazy. Now, I think initially when they introduced it in the US, it was about like 40 were $50 a tray, and I was like,
how many strawberries in a tray?
it was only like, I would say, less members in the Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I mean? So it was, I mean, not including Capadonna. You know what I mean? So
looks like 10 pieces.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
Okay, so this is what I think about food. I wonder if like everything is so perfectly curated, every fruit in the future tastes exactly how you want it, like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
If it'll just make us go like we'll be numb because everything just tastes good, then you're bored because you're not like ever chasing the next perfect thing. Or are we going to genetically mutate all these, like, you know, we're going to have strawberry watermelon things and then that's going to be the new thing, but it'll still taste 10 out of 10 perfect.
I think we're going to continuously evolve.
Well, a lot of no, but here's the thing.
Will that make us happy?
The overall philosophy of it.
I think so.
No.
Like for instance, like our great grandparents didn't grow up eating Spam.
Right.
Like that is an entire different palette that opened up for us. Now we like Spam is part of our DNA.
Yeah, it's incorporated.
And it's not even a Korean, like like our ancestors didn't make Spam.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That shit came because of the USGIs was like, yo, some leftover shit here, take it. And that shit, we turned nothing into something. Yeah. And now it's part of our culture.
That's
so
true.
our descendants are gonna grow up eating Spam, and that's just gonna be part of their diet.
I've
you know what I mean?
I've practiced the art of deprivation. You know what I mean? Fasting, intermittent fasting. You know, not to enjoy everything at the highest level every single day.
'Cause you've done it all, huh?
No, not done at all. It's just about it's just
self-discipline.
It's health. It's self-discipline. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have the greasiest cheeseburger every single day. It's nice to have that, but you know, I like to leave some space in between so I enjoy it more later. You know, I always have this thing like I gotta earn it somehow. Yeah. Every little thing. You know what I mean? And that included back in the day with drugs and alcohol too. I was like, I gotta earn this 8-ball. You know, it's
for
like,
sure.
but obviously that's not even the right way to think, because then I started like making up ways like how I earned it. You know, I was like, I did laundry. Right. You know, like it's like, nah, I shouldn't be turning up because I did laundry. So there's a lot of things that I've been practicing, and I think leaving some space behind, it's good for everything. It's good for, you know, the whole climate change and all that. It trickles up there.
Like if I had Spam every single day.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that.
It would taste fucking delicious though, and I'd be happy.
I don't know. Yeah.
But at some point, yes, right, because of health reasons and just because it is genetically modified. At some point, I think I would get a little tired, and I'd be chasing again the next delicious thing that I'm obsessed with. Right, like having something so good all the time.
So you were saying like, I don't know about all the time. I'm just saying that I think we as, you know, when it comes down to palate, we evolve, we develop. So like, you know, again, like accessibility is a different thing. Like for instance, like, you know, so we work with, so I work with Brian Lee, who used to manage Dumb. Yeah. And
shout out Brian.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Brian. So Brian has 3 boys, right? And the access that these kids get because of, you know, where Brian is in his life and the type of food that they have access to. When I was their age, it was foreign, for sure. Right? But now these kids know, like, yo, like
caviar.
Whether it's caviar or whether it's like street food by an Ecuadorian vendor, like they get access to that full gamut. Damn. So by the time they become 15, 25, 35,
the little pricks. Yeah.
I don't know about them being little pricks, but they're going to be a lot more cultured than I ever was. Yeah. You know what I mean? So absolutely. That's kind of what I meant about the evolution of the palate.
Okay. You know? Right.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. You know, I always thought, you know, because it's human nature, we want variety. We want to switch it up a little bit. Yeah. I could do kimchi jjigae and rice for the rest of my life.
You really think so?
I really think I can, dude. Yeah, I really don't think I could. Like,
do you think you're addicted?
I'm addicted? Nah. I don't have kimchi jjigae withdrawals.
You can get addicted to certain foods.
When I was in Europe and I couldn't find kimchi for about 3 months, I was tripping out for sure. I started making my own little renditions. Like I would get lettuce.
Yo, how'd you manage when you were like in Uganda?
Oh man,
no, this isn't a joke. He was really in Uganda.
I know, but I'm curious how you did.
I lost 25 pounds. I almost died. You know, I couldn't. I just there was
You could, bro.
No. You know what you did? You when you kind of like lose something or you don't have access to it, you try to find the next best thing. So anything vinegarized, you know what I mean? Anything slightly fermented that would kind of give me a hint, like a 2% like hint of kimchi. I'd be like, yeah, this is kimchi. You know, it's kind of like back in the day when you're so broke. Did you see that? Like people look at pictures in magazines and eat the page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they'll just visually feed themselves and then lie to their mind. Like that's how it got to. Like it was when you don't have something, you look for the next best thing. So like vinegarized pepper or even like old fermented goat meat kind of that's a little sour to the taste.
Right.
You know, you shit it out later. You'd pay for it, but you just have to find kind of like something that reminds you of that. It's hard, but I think, I guess I am addicted to kimchi.
That's great, man. I have no attachment to whatever. No attachment.
Wait, hold on. That's a goddamn lie. Tacos? You don't think you're addicted to tacos? Mexican
I like
food?
tacos. I love all these things, kimchi, all that. But
Yeah.
if I'm not gonna have it for a year, then I'm not gonna have it for a year.
Yeah.
Your phone.
That's
I
it.
got it. It's your
I have
phone.
no attachment to people, food, culture, nothing. Nothing.
All right, till
I
next
love
time.
it. I love everybody. You know what I mean?
You have
But
no attachment to people though.
I do a certain extent.
Like yesterday, like we were about to grab a meal, and then like it's like, yo, I invited Steffie and JL. I was like, oh shit, I noticed that dumb.
That's why I don't like reunions sometimes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you
I
get
like-
reminded
I know-
about how much
I
you
noticed
like
that
them.
Dumb likes to surround himself with company, and this is not like a knock on your personality. I'm just saying, like, you like to be around company.
Yeah, reunions do that. If I didn't have the reunion, I would have just been like, "Oh, it's cool." I don't have the attachment, but the reunions remind you, "Oh yeah, you love these people." Blah blah blah. You know, it's like that's why sometimes I hate the reminder. Like,
But you're a performer, so you have to have people to
need to have
get
an
that
audience.
energy, right?
yeah, and then I put myself out there, but the attachment of like specific people.
Right.
I feel like I can keep the distance and I can still feel that love, you know what I mean, for them from a distance.
From afar.
From afar, you know, and I have that, I have certain, you know.
That's an honest take.
It is.
I respect it.
Maybe, hold on, maybe I haven't thought this through, but you know what I mean.
Marinate on it a little.
Yeah, let me marinate
Let
on
it
that.
simmer a little
Let
bit,
me
bro.
simmer, but that's the whole point.
that
I don't
ferment a little
but
bit,
I don't like
you
to
know what I
marinate. That's the thing. You know what I mean? I take a quick dip and I'm out. You know what I mean? And don't let it marinate too long because it'll change you.
Dumb eats
Fermentation.
food like recharging your phone. You know what I mean? He just needs the nutrients. He likes to finish, and as soon as he's done, he's done.
So it's a very transactional relationship.
Absolutely.
Whereas us, we consider them as like companions.
Yes.
You know
It's
what I
an
mean?
experience.
Absolutely.
I see.
I hold hands with my food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
respect that. So
Well-
Steffie, you sorry, go ahead. It
No.
seems like you were about to say something.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
No, I just-
Yeah, no.
I just wanted to be
It's good.
respectful.
Thank you for that.
Jake hosts a lot of weddings, so he likes facilitating and moderating. This guy comes from a long lineage of moderating. What was I going to say? Should we take some calls from people as well?
Oh yeah, people are gonna be very interested. to
Yeah, I'm curious because we actually haven't taken calls from a lot of people. So let's get some calls in, and if you have any questions or want to share any of your culture's cuisine with us, we'd love to hear about some dishes we may have never tried. So hit us up on the Discord. We'll put a link out there. Let's talk to Mac Easy. Let's just hop right into it.
Who's Mac Easy?
Mac Easy is from the UK. He
our
is a
homie.
Chinese homie from the UK.
Oh, I gotta.
He's
All right,
been
let's
part
put
of the
you-
Fun with Dumb
If you want to
family
just hear
for
the
a while.
question.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hi.
What's up?
Real long time. Well, I guess gotta be quick, but just want to say congrats to all of y'all for stuff that you've been doing. Yeah, Rick, you've been killing it with food content, literally
Appreciate you.
teaching us how to eat food like
Thank
never
you.
before.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, Dumb with the fire, Gold House Fit, Steffie with the Cash Cuties, but Jaeki the most, like everything you've been doing across the board. Just big congrats to you, huge fan.
Thank you so much, yo. You have a very gentle voice. I mean,
Yeah. He's a gentle giant.
With that British accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hint of British
Nice.
accent.
That
is-
cheat code.
Wait. So did he ask a question or
Nah,
what?
you was just
give him
giving
props?
us props.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just giving
I
the
appreciate
flowers.
you, bro.
Sorry.
Thank you.
No, well, I just wanted to give flowers, but also the question is, what's an Asian food or like food staple that you don't like?
Ooh.
Asian food staple that I do not like. Was that your question?
Yeah, this applies to everybody.
I think we could start with Dumb, man, because
Yeah. What grinds your gears, Dumb?
What grinds my gears? Welcome to the segment, Grinds My Gears. Actually, that's what the whole podcast should be called, What Grinds My Gears.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, well, I mentioned the Asian fruits, persimmon and chame. I don't know. It's a melon? What is it? What kind of melon?
Chame is a melon.
Yeah, chame is a melon.
It's a certain kind of melon. I'm not a big fan of. I don't still do well with liver.
How
You know what I mean? I am
granulates.
the opposite of liver king. I'm the liver peasant or whatever. Also, Korean. Let's talk about Korean food specifically because you guys love Korean food. But I think we should talk about certain Korean dishes we may not like.
All right, I'm gonna drop this.
Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
One last thing before you guys. Marinated crab.
Whoa.
Overrated.
Interesting.
Overrated.
Are you wait?
You don't like 간장게장? You don't like the 매운 거 or the? You don't like either?
You don't like the red or black?
You know
what
what
are
it
you talking
is? The marination is too much. First of all, you don't need that much marination.
Mm.
The raw crab texture, it's cool. It's just overrated. I just think it's a little overrated.
Do you eat it dolo like a maniac, or do you eat it with rice?
There we go. Let's talk about it. I'm in.
All right, relax, bro. I like maybe one, swoop, one squeeze, boom, one bite, I'm good. I don't need a whole plate of it.
Let me put you on game real quick.
Got you.
That dish is a BDD dish. You know what a BDD is, right?
밥도둑.
My God, dude. It's a papdodok. I was about to dab him
People
up.
got up to give a dab. Jaeki didn't even budge, bro.
Papdodok means
eat it with rice. I know.
and you have to slather it. You
know.
need to mix
I'm
with
cool
it.
with it.
You know, if you're just doing, if you're eating it like a fucking blow pop, yeah, obviously it's going to be too much.
Even the final, the
shell
the
mix?
shell, the head shell, and you put the rice in it. And
You give that
overrated.
shell to the you give that shell to the abuji, to the
abuji.
father. You know what I mean? You got to give it to the dad because
Is that why I've
that's
been
the-
missing out on the experience?
100%.
That's the creme de la creme. You know what I mean?
My father never received the shell filled with rice. Maybe one day when my son gives it to me, I'll appreciate it. But
Yeah.
as of right now, it's overrated. Even the mixing it with the rice, it doesn't do much for me. I don't taste anything crazy. I don't know.
Steph,
That's honestly my favorite food.
Oh shit!
This is where this happens.
The disconnect happens.
Disconnect happens.
I've never seen you eat that.
BCD.
Never.
At BCD, I order it every time.
First of all, BCD's version of that is trash.
Yo,
so
yo,
I don't
tread
know.
carefully, my
oh
God.
my god!
But the
Shred.
version of the marinated crab,
It's fire, man.
it's probably the lowest tier marinated crab in Koreatown. I mean,
Oh my god, dude, that
I'm not saying
crab,
BCD is terrible. BCD is great
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sundubu.
Yeah.
Do you know
But
how
for the marinated crab,
They're
that's
subject matter experts in other things.
Other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm
I
saying.
I
that
get what
first
you're
of
saying.
all, that crab is very inaccessible. It is not an easy thing to get because it needs to be fresh, it has to be good quality. There has to be meat inside the crab.
Talk
it
to
needs
him.
right? So that's why BCD is good because they always have it so people know to go there. It's kind of like the fast food of tofu. It's also the fast food of marinated crabs, which makes it delicious.
Okay, let me give you another reason.
Yo,
though.
I've never seen Steffi this excited.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
that is
respect
because
it.
it reminds me of eating. My grandma, anytime she would come here from Brazil, that is what we got every time.
I
No
have-
one else in my family ate it. So
When I go into eating marinated crab, I have the same dread I have of assembling an IKEA piece of furniture.
I hear you.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Cracking, squeezing,
Yeah.
dirtying.
For
I don't-
marinated crab,
For
though?
marinated crab.
no, you're not eating it right. hun.
I have the same. It's a lot.
It's not a
marinated
plate,
crab
bro.
do you
I
eat?
would say 60%
This
of
isn't
the
even
time.
like king crab, like where you gotta crack the shit.
No,
marinated
dude.
crab, you could just like.
I've cut myself
That's-
60% of the time I've eaten marinated
What
crab.
kind of marinated
John, you're
crab?
eating it wrong if you're eating it with your hands. You're supposed to take it and you squeeze it out of your mouth. Like you put
Don't
it in
you
your
dare
mouth.
teach me how to
and
eat
you
marinated
use your
crab.
front chompers and you like that.
Yeah, I
then
do,
the
I
gel.
do want to. I mean, I'm not a native to LA, but one place that I always go when I'm in LA, for marinated crab is Soban.
Let's go.
I love soba.
Let's go.
Yeah. We
Olympic,
just had
right?
it. We just had it.
That place is amazing. The lady always has like flamboyant lipstick colors. Shout out to her. The
We were
panchan
just talking about
selection over
soban
there,
last episode.
Incredible.
She's eating it like this.
You know, I think
Incredible.
you just don't like
Lips up.
getting your hands dirty during a meal. Would you?
I have had a problem of getting, when I was young, I was not the kid that got sticky candy and stuff all over my
Yeah.
hands. You know what I mean? But it's just a lot of work for very little reward.
So the return of investment is really
The ROI is not good.
ROI is terrible. You know what else I'm not a big
I would
fan
say
of?
that
Crawfish.
I would say that about all shell-oriented fish.
Not a fan of crawfish.
Yeah, aquatic food items.
I'll do
The
shrimp.
ROI is not really big.
I'll do shrimp.
Yeah.
Crawfish, man, that is the least amount of reward, I would say.
I think the shell to meat ratio has to be bigger, right?
Yeah,
Than
for crawfish. Crawfish is probably the least amount of reward, I would say.
You know what I don't like as a side, going back to your question, is I don't love when at Korean restaurants they do panchan. I mean not panchan, japchae as a side dish. If you know the tiny, instead of ordering the, I don't like that. I feel like it feels like not a real panchan. It feels like they are being lazy.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's just throw the noodles, like the clear noodles in a small little.
Japchae actually takes a lot of effort to make.
Absolutely.
And I do think that, you were asking like, what is like, I mean, you mentioned white people in a very general term, but I do notice that when I go to restaurants, Korean restaurants, like a lot of white folks or non-Koreans, they resort to japchae.
Yes,
They always order the japchae and the haemulpajeon.
The
seafood pancake.
Yes.
That combination.
That's a seafood pancake.
They do love pancakes.
They do love the pancake.
That two combinations should just kind of have a separate section in the menu.
So wait, Steph, are you telling me
that's actually so funny?
you think the japchae side dish is more lazier than the potato salad though?
The potato salad.
I have a love and hate with the potato salad.
I like the potato salad.
I like it.
I like it.
It adds a creamy kind of like neutral element and palate it's a palate cleanser for everything else that's spicy and salty.
Yeah.
The creaminess kind of balances out all of that. So
That's
I
very
enjoy
true.
that, even if it doesn't feel like it's quite in there,
Yeah.
And I will say though, there's always that one person when you're in a cipher that kills the potato salad. And that shit annoys the fuck out of me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about,
I know
right?
exactly what you're talking
It's
about.
like, there's like every other panchan, like the fucking like ketchup. Nobody touches the ketchup.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like always kills the potato
people
salad.
touch the ketchup.
No, but yo,
he's the one that kills the
he's
potato
the one that kills
salad.
it. He's the one that kills it.
You're the one that
There's a
kills
new
it.
rule that we have created right now,
Yeah.
which is anytime someone kills the one panchan, they need to order. They need to ask the lady for the one panchan.
I love
again.
when I come across a hard-boiled egg inside a potato salad. You know, the egg white in there. That's just delicious.
But then it sucks because sometimes you think it's a hard boiled and it's a fucking apple.
Apple,
You
man.
know what I'm saying? Let me tell you
when
this
that
right now.
apple, when you crunch into an apple accidentally, nothing will kind
Let
of
me
ruin
tell you
your
this
day,
right now.
really.
This is gonna solve everything. When there's a potato salad out there, the people that kill it, they go in with a horizontal spoon. You can't scoop it horizontally. You have to think for the group and do the vertical spoon. You know what I'm saying? You got to cut it like a slice like this and then scoop it like this. You have to imagine it's like one scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, when the dessert comes out, when there's like a cobbler and like a piece of ice cream, we're good at splitting that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got to treat the potato salad like the ball of ice cream, vertical spoon cuts. It's going to solve everything.
I would
That's
definitely
wild.
say the potato salad out of all the panchans, at least in America, has a really high re-up rate. You know?
Yeah. You're almost
shit.
like as a restaurant, they're probably not making much money making that. Actually, it's probably a bad idea for a restaurant to be making that on a financial sense, because I think you're right. There is at least 2 to 3 scoops per meal.
Yeah, but potatoes are cheap though.
Yeah.
You know?
But
Potatoes-
speaking of panchans though, like one thing that I do want to emphasize about Korean food, because we've been talking about Korean food a lot, is David Chang once said, is like, yo, why would I not charge for my kimchi? You know what I mean? Like, you go to an Italian restaurant, like, yo, if you want extra Parmesan, they charge you for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, if you want like extra any of this for bread, they might charge you for that. It's like, yo, my kimchi takes a year to make. You know what I mean? So why would I not charge for my kimchi?
But that's bullshit. They ain't charging for bread. They always bring bread
it
out.
depending on what
Fuck
kind
outta
of
here.
restaurant.
Not always.
You know what I mean? But
Not always.
He got infuriated right now.
But my point is, like, I mean, personally, you know, I love like a lot of the restaurants that, you know, David Chang has put, you know, like has put out to this world.
Right.
But when he said that, I was like, that is a very interesting perspective. It's like about where we put the value in our food.
No,
Because
I agree.
I
I
think in
think-
Korean restaurants, it is almost like like a given that you expect kimchi to be free, but it's like, why is it always free?
No, kimchi takes a long time to make, so I understand that part, but I disagree with other places that have free shit too. So I don't know about that comparison.
Well, does it take like he said, it takes like 6 months or whatever it takes to make good.
Well, I don't know how bread is made, but I'm pretty sure that shit takes a long time too, right? Is that how?
Yeah, but it doesn't take like months to ferment. Well, maybe the
kimchi
yeast
does not take months to make, does it?
Have you ever made bread or kimchi? Okay, hold
How
on.
long did that shit?
You retracted that with the quickness.
Yo, Rick, how does it? How long does it take?
I didn't even answer it, bro. I'm not even gonna give you the satisfaction.
I know yeast takes a day at least to grow. I know this about my friends when they're making bread.
Yeah. Oh,
kimchi.
Your friends make bread, huh?
Yeah, they do make bread.
Yeah.
My mom makes bread actually.
Okay.
She likes olive bread, but kimchi my mom's never made. My grandma's
Your mom's never made kimchi,
but she makes bread all the time. She's not a huge, as a Korean, she is not a big Korean food person.
That's refreshing, actually.
I respect it.
Yeah. She's not ashamed to say it either. I'm ashamed when I'm next to her and she talks about it.
Yo,
like,
real quickly, going back to Mackey's original question about what I dislike. When I go to Korea, I don't like how all the spicy foods is incorporated with sweetness.
Right.
Yeah.
There's this talcum. There's this like,
for sure.
Coming from America with like the Texas Pete's and the Tabasco, the salty vinegar, like the salty sour hot is kind of like what I'm accustomed to.
I like
but
that.
there's so much sweetness, like it's that gochujang flavor, when it comes to spicy stuff. So I wish Korea, kind of switched it up a little bit and brought
That's a
that
good
salty
call.
sour a little bit.
I like the salty sour too.
And
You know what I'm saying?
and I think it's because when Korean people eat out,
Yeah.
they want to expect something that they're not gonna get from home.
Right.
And that scent of saccharin really like ignites your palate. You know what I mean?
Jesus
So even when you look at like Chef Baek Jong-won, who's arguably the most famous Korean
that's the
chef,
guy.
You know what
That's
I mean?
the guy.
Like, that's the god. You know what I mean? Like he's
absolutely.
top of the food chain. So all of the recipes that you see him put together, he always sprinkles some sugar in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whether it's like cheokbokum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever. Everything he puts a little bit of sugar in there.
Yeah.
So I noticed, and then even when I started using his recipes, I was like, oh shit, this tastes like how they serve it in the restaurant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
That's that little hidden formula.
Rennie Six, what's up?
Yo,
What's up,
bro?
Reddy? Long time.
Yeah,
yo,
these are
long
regulars,
time.
huh? These are regulars,
Yes.
huh?
Yeah.
Give us a controversial food take.
Oh, for me? I don't even know if I got one.
What's good? What's on your mind?
Dang.
baby?
Yeah, give us.
I was gonna say first of all, man, I need that Jaeki Rick Lee podcast like yesterday, bro.
That's not a bad idea. You got
Definitely.
a podcast.
Yo, he knew what BDD was like right off the bat. That's crazy.
Like, son,
Yo,
in the context of kanjang, gejang,
come on.
son.
Yeah,
Say
absolutely.
less.
Absolutely.
Oh, I do got a controversial take. Hey, man. Hey, hear me out.
Go ahead.
Taco Bell ain't that bad. Hey, man, nice little.
That's not
quesadilla.
controversial
That's
at all.
Did you say Taco Bell's not that
Everybody
bad?
That was the least controversial fucking statement I've heard all episode. Taco Bell
Well,
not so bad is a controversial statement? Come on,
People
man.
shit on Taco Bell. I don't know.
Come on, give us some real shit. Shit on something, bro.
Man.
Get racist on us. Come on, bring it.
Whoa.
I mean, here's a hot take.
No.
Everything on Taco Bell tastes the same. Do we agree? Like every menu item to me, I feel like
That's
it's
not a hot take either. I think we know that, and
Yeah.
it's fine. We'll take it in different ways. Like
Right,
you can
right.
roll this, you can crunch that up.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Taco Bell.
No,
Come
but-
on, Randy.
I just wanted to pick your guys' brain because, Dom, you mentioned like you loved soul food at like Thanksgiving time, and
Yeah.
so I just wanted to know, like what your guys' like top soul food picks are, like top 3, top 2, like whether it's like fried chicken, yams, greens or whatever. Like, what are you guys' go-to?
I like greens a lot because that's like a form like a veggie that it reminds me of something that we have, but with the soul take on
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? I think obviously fried chicken, but that's not my highlight of it.
I love
Mac
grits.
and cheese.
I love the cheesy
Grits
grits.
is great.
Is my favorite thing.
Cheese and
'Cause
grits.
That's not like typically something I eat.
Shrimp and grits is up there for me.
Absolutely.
For
I
Do
don't-
y'all
I-
like sweet or savory?
I like
grits?
savory grits.
I like
Savory.
savory. I don't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
know if I've had sweet, to be honest. I don't.
Yeah.
What does that taste like? What do they put in
Oatmeal.
the?
Sweet is
Tastes
more
like
like
kind of.
sweet is more like
Slightly.
breakfast grits, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't think I've had that.
Yeah, but you know, when you have this kind of like savory grits with like the melted butter up top, and you just mix it in, come on, dude, it's next level.
yeah.
Fried okra is good. So
There's times I like soul or fried chicken more than Korean fried chicken too. You know,
like the theory is that soul fried chicken was the originators that influenced. The
right.
birth of
That's a
Korean fried
theory
chicken.
of the military and all that, right?
Yeah.
we were taught by the best.
But yeah, I don't know. I still like that kind of southern hot fried chicken sometimes over any of the Korean marination stuff.
Are you a fan of the chicken and waffle combination?
I am. I'm not gonna lie. People find out, like, some people find it weird, but like, why? This shit's fire. Both are fire things that they collaborate.
I don't
Why
know
not?
anyone that thinks that's weird. There's so many restaurants with it.
Yeah. But I think people are just kind of like, these are two random foods that paired up together.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
sweet and savory combo has always been, like the corn dog.
Oh, let me ask you guys. Rank this: waffle, pancake, French toast.
Waffle, French toast, and then pancake.
Waffle number one, French toast, and then pancake.
Yeah, but
how about for you,
yeah.
Jakey?
I would say French toast, waffle, and then pancake.
French toast number one.
Yeah.
And then you.
I'm exactly the same.
Whoa.
Can I ask, how the fuck did pancake become the hottest one? Them shits were literally selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to scale. You're just using like flour and powder, and then it's easy to create. Whereas like with French toast, you need bread.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more of a prep process.
I have
that goes
never
into it.
seen anyone finish pancakes.
I mean,
I've never seen anyone finish a stack of pancakes.
You're very right. I mean, pancake is almost like it's like almost like a symbolic food of American prestige and capitalism.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It
It's
is.
like the overaxes of American,
For
food
sure.
culture.
Yeah.
The abundance.
Yeah, pancake kind of
Pancake.
symbolizes that.
Yeah.
The least appetizing deal I've ever seen was IHOP all you can eat pancakes. Like, that's gonna get me in there, buddy. Like, all you can eat pancakes. One order of pancakes is enough.
Yeah.
Real talk. I mean, it's just like, that's just too many pancakes. We have too many pancakes. in
French
this world.
toast to me is top because of its ability to soak. You know what I mean? It's like a sponge almost. So you put the maple syrup on it, whatever syrup, it literally just sucks it all in. So every bite is almost like a wet explosion, bro.
For me, it's about the
Pause.
texture. French toast, waffles, they have a crunch.
Yeah.
Which I think is why it takes longer to make, why like McDonald's probably doesn't have it. But McDonald's, I wouldn't be surprised if their breakfast is what put pancakes on the map as like the American food.
I do like the small, is that hotcakes, the smaller ones?
Yeah.
I think that should be the official pancake, like that size.
Yeah, what's it called? Like dollar. So
Oh, we're not representing Japanese pancakes. Have you
I
guys
didn't
had
even know. I
those?
didn't
The
even know.
soft,
You know,
fluffy
yeah,
ones?
these do
100%.
look delicious. Put
That-
this on the screen right here. Look at that.
Has
That's-
taken over
I
like
have
the
curious-
Asian market for like the dessert to eat has somehow become like the popular.
I haven't tried this. Is this
dish.
good or what?
It is.
Yes, it's
I mean,
good.
Then again, like you're asking me, I find beauty in everything.
But when I went
See,
to
that's why I don't like this beauty and everything shit that you're doing. I don't like this. This is not fun to talk about. It's like,
Yo.
let me get a hot take from you. No, I find it beauty in everything. I hate that shit. Come on, man, give me a take. That's not a take. Your take is like, I love everything. God damn.
Speaking of take, we got take,
take
one.
one.
Let's move on to take one.
Yo, take you, ready?
7-7.
Yo,
This is Jaeki. One take. 7-7. Good luck. All right.
What's up, buddy?
Take one sounds like a rapper's name.
Yeah, right.
Sounds like old Genu Sean.
What's
song,
up? What's
bro.
on your mind? Give us a take. Give us a hot take.
And it's take one, born in '77. That's why.
You're muted. Take one.
Take one.
Oh, hey, my bad. Hey,
No,
guys.
you good? What's good?
If you can have only one thing for the rest of your life, would you eat just rice or noodles or bread?
Someone just
Rice.
asked me this recently.
rice is for me.
I mean, I don't know about dumb, but I think it's pretty obvious for everybody else here. It's like it's gonna be rice, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me rephrase this question. Fuck, marry, kill, rice, noodle, or bread. Okay. Go.
I would say marry rice.
Marry rice.
It's a long-term investment.
Got you.
You know what I mean? I would fuck noodle. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Because it's a jump off, like a side piece. You know what I mean?
Go on.
It's a hookup once in a while.
I
but
like
it's
this.
It's not like an everyday situation.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
know
go
what I
on.
mean? And then
Kill bread. That's
kill,
all.
well,
left.
yeah, bread.
You got to
As
kill
much,
bread.
much as I love it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If I have to live without it, I think I could live without it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're kindred spirits, man. I agree
that
with
the same
Jaeki.
thing?
100%.
Wow.
Okay. That was well
100%.
said. Well said.
Yeah.
Somehow
Yeah.
it was still diplomatic. I don't know how the fuck that happened.
Does that mean you guys are gonna give up ramen and pho?
Not give up. It just
Nah, I
means,
just
you
said
know,
it's a jump off,
Yeah,
son.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We
We'll
check
smash
in once in a while. You know what I mean?
I'm
It's
gonna
like, yo, you up? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's what ramen is. It's like, yo, you up?
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
gonna actually. I got a controversial take on this.
Let's go, you bitch.
Number one is noodle for me.
Okay.
Number
Okay.
one is
I'm
noodle.
not mad at that.
Number two is might be bread.
What? And
I
kill
know.
rice?
I might have, because you know what? I love rice. I grew up on rice. There's always, the rice dish. I eat more variations of other two than the rice variations.
Interesting.
You don't think you do?
I mean,
I
yeah,
feel like
we live
you eat more bread variations than rice
we-
variations.
Well, we live in America, so the accessibility to sandwich is pretty frequent.
Yeah.
But if I have to, like, as a long-term relationship, like somebody that I want to wife up,
Yeah.
rice is it,
Rice. That's it.
man. You know what I mean?
rice. I don't want to spend the rest of my life with rice. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it's really a preference of where we see ourselves in life.
I feel like rice is a marriage that I've been in for so long that and we don't have sex.
Yeah. You'll
You know
cheat
what I
on
mean?
it.
Like
You'll
we
cheat
haven't
on
had
it.
sex in years.
But
I feel.
I think even though it's sexless, if you're trying to build an empire together, I think rice is the go-to option.
I don't care about any of this.
Okay, you got me at empire.
Right.
You got me at building empire. I think rice. You're right. Rice is how I build an empire.
I don't care
That's
about
my Michelle
any of this
Obama.
stuff right now.
100%.
That's my
That's
Michelle
what I'm
Obama.
saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the long-term
Wow.
wifey. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Jim
That's
Claretta, bro.
somebody that you bring them to the galas, shake hands, you know, kiss
Absolutely.
babies.
Well, how about you,
You know what I
Steffi?
mean?
Which is
I don't care about any of this stuff. All I want to do is fuck bread. Like that's like a waste not to fuck bread from the softness, the smell,
the bread is
Yeah.
the most
the
fuckable.
energy.
Breath is the most fuckable.
You could get sweet and salty with it. It just seems fun. Do you know what I mean?
What seems the most boring?
Noodles, absolutely.
Noodles?
Noodles are like.
But noodles
I
come
don't
in
need-
different shapes and sizes,
Yeah,
though.
absolutely.
Yeah, but what noodle's like the best noodle? You know,
Does size
Like,
matter for you in noodles?
I don't want a wet noodle in bed. You know, I don't
want a
want a wet noodle in bed.
I don't think anyone wants a wet noodle in bed.
And marrying a noodle? That sounds
Yeah.
boring as fuck. No. You
You
gotta
gotta
marry
include
the.
pasta and the noodles.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what'd you say?
Yeah, I mean, pasta is in the noodle category.
That is in the
Absolutely.
noodle.
I know, but I can't eat that. Like I've tried eating noodles every single day, and it just doesn't do for me like at all. Rice I could eat every single day.
Right.
I think most people would say that. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, but in marriage, you look for consistency, right? You look for consistency. You look for
Somebody that's gonna hold you
value.
down.
Someone's gonna hold you down.
Rice
Let
is
me say
inconsistent.
something. Rice
Is inconsistent.
you could
Is it
eat
consistent?
plain.
Actually, probably the least inconsistent out of the three, to be honest, right?
I
Out of
mean,
the
yo,
three.
son, like in terms of the process of creating rice, our Asian people on this earth has mastered the craft down to the T.
To the T.
I mean, the fucking rice cookers, yo,
Yeah.
these motherfuckers talk to you.
They
You know what I
sing to
mean?
you.
They sing to you. They
Yeah.
tell you exactly when shit is ready, what kind of formats you want it. You want the fucking broth, you want the porridge, you want it chokum chok choke. You know what I mean? Yo,
Yeah.
you get the whole variety, son. What can you do? Like noodle, you still got to go through the process of making sure that the burner is on the right temperature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? bread, that shit is a fucking science equation that, yo, even like the experts fuck
up.
You know what I mean?
But I do feel like rice has become a representation of the stereotypical Asian, and I want to break the mold a little bit.
So you just said that because
I
of
wanna
your
break the mold.
You want to create a comms narrative that you are that you don't want to fall into the preconceived notions.
No,
of,
I'll take things I've learned from rice and apply it to bread and pasta, and
I have
noodles.
to say, I feel like noodles is more like that.
So it's
than it is
basically like-
rice.
Oh, you think
I
noodles
think
is more
noodles is more
stereotypical than?
stereotypical Asian than rice is.
right, because rice is also exists in Latin America.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Africa.
That's
Yeah.
a good.
All over the
is
world.
that
True.
Is that
Yeah.
true? What is more stereotypical of Asians, white or noodles? I mean, rice or noodles, white or noodles? I was looking at white rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noodle.
No, I think rice.
Well, the thing is with noodles,
if you drew a racist caricature of an Asian person,
Yeah.
I don't know why you would do this.
yeah,
I mean, most likely it'll be noodles.
It'll
Yeah,
be
just
noodles.
a chopstick
Because it requires
and the
chopsticks.
noodles.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
All right. We'll test it out next time. We'll tell somebody to draw a stereotypical image of an Asian person and see what they draw.
Yo,
right?
take one. That was a great question. Thanks
Yeah.
for calling in, buddy.
That was
you.
great. Let's
Bye.
take one more and we'll end the episode.
Hey, my take. How do you guys feel about pickles on burgers, sandwiches, whatever? I am not a fan of having pickles.
Not
on
at all, huh?
Really?
Not at all. I don't know what it is about them. Just maybe it's like the texture or what, but just pickles, man. I
I
can't do
kind
it
of
on a
agree
sandwich.
with you on that, except recently I did have a delicious tuna sandwich, a Bubs and Grandma's sandwich, and they had sweet pickles in it.
Mm-hmm.
And usually in sandwiches, it's like salty pickles.
Mm-hmm.
The sweet pickles really balance like the savoriness
Yeah,
of
like
the
the
rest
relish
of the tuna.
effect.
The relish effect, but they
Right.
did it in pickle form, and I thought that was fantastic because you still get the crunch.
Yeah.
While
What's that
relish,
called? The bread butter? Bread butter pickles?
a butter pickle. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
How about you, Jakey?
I love pickles.
You
I
love
love
it.
pickles.
You love it already inserted into the
Yeah,
sandwiches.
I mean, I think that especially depending on the type of sandwiches, if it's like, let's say if it's a heavy duty situation with like ham, another form of pork, and some mayo, you need something to balance out
Yeah.
that grease. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that
Very
pickle,
true.
like fermentation is really good for your gut biome too, man. You know what I mean? So
I
There's
like
a
pickle.
health element
I
to
like
it.
pickle, but I like when they give you the option on the side.
Yeah.
Even in certain deli sandwiches, they'll put it on the side, and I
Right.
think that's kind of the way to give pickles.
But I
Yeah.
don't like those soggy ones that they put on the side. It needs to be crunchy and shout out to the Trader Joe's kosher pickles, the best. So good
Those
and
are fire.
affordable.
I like the whole dill situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because, you know,
exactly.
like the diner pickles, you know, the sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, not sweet, kind of like salty, like
Yeah.
the mini joints with the crunch, that percussion. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Can I
need
say
that.
The briny ones.
I'm not a fan of Korean pickles.
What's Korean pickles?
I know I've been doing a lot of
So you're
Korean
talking
hate.
about So you're
Sweet
talking about
pickles.
like sweet pickles that you get
Nope.
at like the fried chicken
Hate
joint.
that shit.
Gotcha.
Hate it.
I see.
Hate it.
So let me ask you guys this, and please, like, so when I used to go to Italian restaurants with my mom,
Yeah.
she would always ask for pickles because in Korea they serve a lot of these hybrid Italian Korean fusion spots in Korea. They always serve it with pickles as like a kimchi supplement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about eating pasta, or I guess more traditionally Western food that is not synonymous with pickle, with some form of pickle, kimchi, or anything that is fermented?
Necessary.
Rick,
I wasn't
mean,
paying
I-
attention to the
I-
question. I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
One more time. What was
Yeah,
what was the
say
question
it one more
again? I'm
time.
sorry. I got confused.
So I guess it's like traditionally Western food
Yeah.
that is not synonymous with pickles or anything that is pickled.
yeah.
Do you guys feel like it's a good marriage? Do
Yeah.
you guys feel like it's a necessity?
It's
You know,
like
for
the
me-
it's like the Thanksgiving dinner where you need the kimchi on the side. I think
Yeah.
it's like culturally we need something acidic and
To break it up.
to break up anything. Again, I think as a whole, Koreans don't like things that are heavy, or nukihe is the word. There's like a specific term for like when we eat greasy food and it feels heavy for us. And so panchans, things that are acidic, and like kimchi's, pickles, we usually eat that to counteract that intensity. So I feel like with sandwiches, anything greasy with a lot of American Western cultured foods
Yeah.
tend to have that.
Right.
So you need something later on.
I feel like Koreans are good at fermenting stuff, but pickling is still, I don't know why. They're not pickling it that deep. First of all, keep in mind, I don't know how any of this works
Right,
scientifically.
right.
But
How do you guys feel about spicy pickles? Like a spicy, like crunch kind of a pickle.
I love it.
love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
wait,
Because-
spicy pickle. What is that again? What do you mean?
I mean,
So it's
oh,
basically
like
just like
a-
a pickle chip that has like some
Yeah.
spice. Like
I
the
like
brine that
oiji.
it's soaked in is.
I mean, the spicy
Spicy.
pickles that I've tried, I mean, I wouldn't consider them spicy in my barometer of
Right.
spice level.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, a spicy pickle is essentially like kaktuki.
Yeah.
Yes, you know what I mean?
Oh,
That's
right,
very true.
right,
That's
right.
like a
I see what
spicy
you're saying.
pickle.
That's very
Yeah.
true. Going
Yeah.
back to
Only
when you
reason I asked though
Yeah.
is because the restaurant that I work at, we usually garnish our those pickles on the side, and sometimes it's too hot for some people, sometimes it's not. But usually, what I recommend to people is to take those pickles home, bread them up, deep fry them, air fry them, whatever you want to do, and they stay spicy. So you have like a breaded spicy pickle, and it's so good. But I'm picky with pickles, and that's like one of the few things that I'll do.
I
No,
hate
that's
that.
fine.
I don't like the fried pickle situation at festivals or wherever they give them out. I don't like those. Do you guys eat those? The fried pickles? Have you ever had those?
I've tried it.
I'll eat
tried
it.
it.
I'm more
It's too
fresh.
much.
I like the fresh better.
Yeah, it's not something that
I
I
don't
would
know.
have on a regular basis.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I don't like
Going back to your question, Jaeki, it's like I will eat kimchi with anything to the
100%.
point where I need to fall back. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, like when I used to eat pho, I would drown sriracha in it, taking the actual flavor away from pho and making my own.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I do want to give you your props. So the first person that I've seen just drench a bowl of onion with sriracha and use it as a form of kimchi at a pho restaurant was Rick.
Wow.
Damn.
So I've seen this dude, like this guy do this shit, and I was like, "The fuck is this guy doing? There's a
Right.
lot of sodium, my guy."
Right.
And he made that shit into a bowl of miniature kimchi.
Yeah.
And he had that with pho. And then once I tried it, I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yes,
This is
sir.
like it was a huge unlock.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I mean? So
Yes,
I
sir.
gotta give you props to that.
I appreciate
I
that,
made a
yeah.
video about that where I
Yeah.
specifically shout you
Wow,
out.
thank you.
The video
Yeah.
did really well.
Yeah.
So yo,
I love
please continue
The
on.
respect to
Rick's.
you.
I mean, the way Rick eats is amazing. It's entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
You know, it gives me a roller coaster ride. Like, yeah, do that. No, chill. Like, I don't know what to feel. You know, it's. I just feel like sometimes I don't want to encourage it.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
he
for
goes
sure.
in, and then he keeps going in and further in, and you're like, don't get out of there, you know, and he just dives in, and I don't know. There's a half and half situation.
I
for
hear
me.
you. I hear you.
You know?
See, so sometimes like, you know, I used to put kimchi on pizza. You know, it's great.
Or kimchi with pizza is
Kimchi
amazing.
pizza is
That's the best.
incredible. Yeah,
That's
but
the best.
you have to understand sometimes you have to appreciate the food for what it is without
Right.
that supplement. You know what I mean? You could get lost in that. So sometimes I try to, even like when I eat pho in Westminster, I try to fall back on the onion and really enjoy the food for what it is. But to be honest with you, like I could eat kimchi or any type of pickled anything with anything. With anything. I've had kimchi with Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice
So
cream.
yo,
before.
I'm in like early conversations with Chonga Kimchi right
Yeah.
now to do a project together.
Oh.
I'll definitely alley oop that.
Yo,
real quick.
please
You know
let
what
me
I mean?
know.
Wow.
There
Let
we
me
go.
know. Have you heard of Oshine Kimchi?
Nah, I did not.
Oshine Kimchi is one of the best kimchi companies out here in California.
Say
It's
word.
All right.
fire.
Wow.
Word.
Well,
Shout
look
out
out-
to Wishing.
Sick.
Well, look out for that Jaeki and Rick podcast. We're putting it in the air at some point, and it'll be the most poetic podcast about the brothers. Look out for the brothers,
That's
y'all.
so
Well,
Yo,
Jaeki,
somebody said Rick got that pregnancy craving, dog.
yeah, he really
Wow.
does, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, yo, Jaeki, thanks for being a guest on here. We really laughed. We cried.
Thank you.
We
Nah, you didn't cry.
We salivated. I didn't cry. I can't cry. But we salivated talking about some delicious foods, broke down, and we love your
Right.
knowledge on a lot of these topics.
That was incredible.
And we love the support you're giving the community,
Yeah.
man. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for doing this, man.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, man, when you started this wasn't the setup. It has obviously evolved. It's like that Animorph cover. You know what I'm talking about? It's evolving into its own thing.
It is.
And I think you guys are really harnessing a community. And yo, like, just always glad to see you, Rick, Steph, always doing well, man.
Thank you. Brother.
Yeah, no.
I hope y'all keep doing this, though.
Yeah.
Yep. Look
Yeah.
out, Righteous Eats on Instagram or Jaeki Cho. Righteous Eats is the overall movement. Jaeki Cho is this individual here who is also part of this company, if you will. or-
Yeah, it's a company. Righteous Eats is a standalone company. We also have a holding company called Flavor Thing.
Okay.
And yeah, we're expanding. We just Helen Cho, she was a producer on Paul Tanone. She was the showrunner on Lisa Link's show.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was also a
Yeah.
director with Kamau Bell show. She just joined the team.
Wow.
So she's working with us on many capacity. We have hopes and goals of putting out a book in the near future. We have entertained the idea of doing more long form content. So a lot of things are going on, but overall, I think whatever that we delve into, we always want to just remain focused on how can we provide a platform for the underserved that doesn't have access to platforms. So
Yep.
that could be in IRL, like when we do events with a corporate sponsor like Samsung, we make sure that we bring in the vendors that we've worked with in the past.
Yeah, I love that you guys did that
You know what
last
I mean?
project.
So
you
yeah,
guys
we just
did.
want to make sure that message continuously gets amplified.
It's fucking
what's up,
beautiful.
man.
Hit us up if you guys ever want to collab on anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Shout
come on.
out.
It's coming for sure.
So if you see mad immigrant businesses using Androids, it's because of Jaeki Cho. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next week for another
Bye.
episode of Fun with Dumb. Peace.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.